All right, it's 10:59. We'll get rolling in a minute here. Where is everybody? We sent the memo out, right?
Yep, I sent out a reminder about 25 minutes ago.
I know you did.
Listen, I always missed it. If my reminder to send out the reminder hadn't dinged, it wouldn't have happened.
I believe according to North Carolina contract, you're going to have to enter a certain dollar amount, period. The same way a seller would pay for buyer closing costs. You cannot just say, I'll pay for all of the closing costs, period. You have to say $5,000 towards closing cost, etc. Multitasking, look at that. And I was not on mute. Awesome. So, all right, well, it's 11:01.
It's okay.
I want to respect everybody's time and get rolling. So we've got some stuff to discuss. How's everybody doing today? I want to start off with a couple of things, and then I want to give you guys a chance to put some input in and talk to us about what you got going on right now in your committees. So let's jump right in at a couple of new things that we're going to do to attract and recruit agents. I want to remind you guys as ALC members, part of the requirement is to make sure that you are sending 2 leads every month to the team leader, preferably cappers, but people in production. Make sure that you guys are sending good cross-sale agents that you've worked with, agents that you just see in the industry that maybe you have a relationship with, that you can go ahead and align with us. Obviously, people we want to align our offices with. So that's just kind of a friendly reminder. So let's jump right in. You guys remember last time we were talking about putting in place a transaction coordinator for the office? You guys remember this conversation? Yep. Okay, awesome. So I want to thank Cece for working with me through the numbers on it. We have figured out, and I want to give you guys the breakdown, so you guys might want to go ahead and write some of this stuff down. The point of the transaction coordinator is to make it easier for the agents that we have in the office to continue to go and get more business. So think of a team, think of a real estate team. And like Kim, I know you're on a team, right? So you've got administrative assistants from Kristen on your team, right? So she'll take care of some paperwork. So what I'm looking at the office is looking at the office as a giant team of agents. And so what we would like to do is go ahead and put a transaction coordinator in place. And this is going to kind of be the breakdown of it. They're going to have a guaranteed salary, okay? And so as a result, we're going to have basically 2 services being provided by the transaction coordinator. The first service would be loading up your listings into MLS. Now, you guys can go and do your homework on what transaction coordinators charge for these activities. I'm just going to give you the breakdown. Typically something like that is about $200, maybe $250 to load in your listing to MLS. Now, don't get me wrong, there could be some cheaper ones out there, but that's the average, is about $200 to $250. We're going to offer this service to our agents for $125. The second thing that a transaction coordinator is going to do is going to be the closing side of the business. Whether that's a listing or a buyer, doesn't make a difference. On average, that is about $350 to $500 value, shall I say, okay? We are going to offer that to our agents for $250. Now, like I said, this person is going to have a guaranteed salary. So what I need from you guys as ALC is, if we're going to guarantee them a salary, if they're not doing enough of these closings and listings, essentially the market center could be losing money, and we may lose money for the first month or two. So what I need the ALC's help with is we all voted on this last time. We said we're going to move forward with it. And so what I need your help with it is getting the word out to all of our agents of the benefit for their business. Now, some of you guys may say, well, wait a second, PJ, if I can be a transaction coordinator, I can charge $250 for this and $500 for this. Why am I ever going to do it for $125 and $250, right? Well, number one, a couple of things come with a guaranteed salary. W-2 employee, so their taxes are different than being 1099. That's one major win for the person who's a transaction coordinator. The other thing is they're going to be the exclusive transaction coordinator for Keller Williams Lake Norman. So they're going to get in front of all of our agents. Now, this person is going to be an in-house employee for a minimum of the first 6 months, where they will be in the office every single day. And then after 6 months, I'm going to allow them to kind of work remotely, but still need to be coming in the office. I think it's going to take about 3 to 6 months for them to really build up their business around it. Does that make sense to everybody? Now, if the market center is paying this person's salary and we are not hitting the number, because obviously the agents are going to be paying for the listing side of the transaction side, if they're not hitting that number, then the market center is going to be losing money, which could directly impact profit share, which is why CC and myself are going to be monitoring this and watching this to make sure that it's a win-win for everybody. On the flip side, when we hit the salary mark, from there, we can now go on, and as a result, there's going to be extra money on top of that, which is going to go directly into profit share for the agents. Does that make sense to everybody? So the goal of this is to get our agents a licensed and trained transaction coordinator at about 50% the cost that they would be paying if they went out. That's win number one. Win number two is the transaction coordinator gets to get in front of 200 plus agents to help grow their business. Also with that, transaction coordinator gets a second win of getting the W-2 employee in a salary instead of a 1099. You guys know what I'm trying to say. Sorry, I didn't prepare a script for this. The final win is going to be that the market center gets an additional revenue stream, which for all of the rest of the market center just increases the profit share that you guys get. So let me open up the transaction coordinator for questions. And I know I saw a couple people jump on here a little bit late. So if I need to review anything, let me know. What questions do you guys have around this, or what do you guys think of it?
How are they going to, how do the agents pay them?
So that great question. Thank you, because I did not explain that. It's going to be just as if you were in the productivity coaching. So when you go ahead and submit your check in to CC, that amount is going to be taken out of your check before she gives you back your direct deposit. Yep. But it'd be a flat fee instead of percentage.
Yeah. So specific to that, Kim, you add a deduction to your commission request for the amount of the listing and or the contract to close services.
Okay. Because she's going to
comes to me.
Because she's going to continue to get paid, right? Because she's salaried, and then the office is just going to take it out of our closings, right?
Correct.
Is that right? Okay. Okay.
Yeah. And CC, I don't think we've talked about how we're going to track that, but I'm sure knowing CC, she's already got something lined up for it.
We're good. I have a line item. We're ready.
Perfect. See, that's like I'm psychic. Just surround yourself with good people. You look wicked smart. Okay. Any other questions? Deb, Don? Do we like this idea, guys?
I think it's a really good idea. Why not bring in another revenue stream, and why not make things cheaper for our agents? I think it's brilliant.
And it's going to be a huge value prop. And Deb, for you in particular, I've got another thing that we're going to talk about in a second here. It's going to be a great value proposition for when you're talking with your growth committee and going out and talking with schools as well.
Yeah, for sure.
Don, you were going to say something?
would just sort of echo what I said in the last meeting. It doesn't really affect me on the commercial side, but I think it's a great idea.
Yeah. Well, we're getting there. We'll get the commercial transaction coordinator next. Okay. So anything else in regards to the transaction coordinator role? Okay. All right. Next thing. We are working on, and CC has already kind of drummed one of these up, for new agents that are coming in, doing a new agent reimbursement program. One of the things that I've seen some other market centers do, not Keller Williams, I'm sorry, other firms do, and Chelsea McCluskey, she's one of these agents where they paid for her to go to school. They even paid for her MLS and stuff. And so that's what I'm competing with in some of these recruiting conversations that I'm having. Will you pay for my school? And so I've never been a fan of putting money out there for somebody that, frankly, I don't know if they're going to be good or not, so to speak. So it's just like we took the model of Bold, and there's another Points East, which is in Greenville, North Carolina, is doing this, and it seems to be working out well. So Kent Temple's favorite R&D is rip off and duplicate. So that's what we're doing here. We're doing it a little bit differently than they are. And so this is a proposal to you guys as ALC members. And please, this is going to be something we vote on. Unfortunately, with only 3 members on here, it's going to be a quick vote. Oh, nope, I see SJ jumped on, sorry, 4. So what we're going to do is a reimbursement program. Again, Deb, this is going to be a value prop that you can talk to when you're going to teach at classes. This is how it's going to work, okay? So you go to real estate school and you pay for it. You get licensed. You affiliate with Keller Williams Cornelius, and you will get a reimbursement of $200 for your first 3 transactions. The average cost of the school is about $550 with the test. So as a result, we're going to reimburse up to $600 through the first 3 transactions, and it will be a credit to them. So obviously when you do a split on, you do a split with the office at the 80-20 split, $200 is going to be credited back to them the same way we do Bold reimbursements. Now you guys are familiar with that, yeah? Okay. Now something that Kent told me about, and I don't know about this, has anybody ever seen Bold Bucks? So
never heard of it.
What's that, SJ?
Never even heard of that.
So I guess this is something that was done previously. I don't know if it was here or Mooresville, but Kent said they had coupons that were $200 bills that were called Bold Bucks, and they would give them to the agents. And then when the agents would turn in their checks, they would put it in there with it, just kind of as a friendly reminder to the MCA or whatever. However, I think obviously we're going to keep a track of it, that we don't have to do this. Yet handing them something like that, I think is a cool, get them involved in the process, and they can come and say, CC, I got my $200, great, awesome, whatever. So I'd like to get something like that. Again, I wanted to ask you guys if anybody had seen that or if anybody had an example or a template of one. I'll reach out to my sphere of KW people and see what I can find. Or maybe Kent has one. CC's
Mooresville did it when I was there. Mooresville had them.
Okay, maybe, and that's probably where Kent's pulling this from.
Mm-hmm.
So,
we did it here.
What's that?
We did it here too. Now that you reminded me,
Oh, we did.
I remember.
Okay.
I remember Carrie and Jana running around with them when I did one of the polls. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think it'll be a cool little exciting thing for agents to do. I don't know. What do you think?
It's fun.
What do we think about the whole reimbursement in the first place?
I think we should limit the time frame like we would with Bold too. I mean, they can't have 3 transactions over 3 years. You know, I mean,
it's a good point.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe in your first year, give them enough time to get, because let's face it, a lot of people, and this is the thing, the average real estate agent does 4 transactions a year. Okay. And
You're
so
kidding.
we know it takes about a 90-day window to get up and running, and Bold is only a 2-month window, which I think would be too tight. And really, we're not talking about a ton of money either. Would we say about a year in 3 transactions in your first year? Not that we want to set that as a goal for anybody.
No, but I like that because I think it gives them some motivation as well, you know? So yeah, and I don't think it's fair to the ones that bust their butts for someone that's, you know, in 5 years, they've done 3 transactions. I mean, that's not someone we really want anyway. You know?
No, agree, Deb. I think that's a great point. What do the rest of the members think?
I love the idea. How would it affect maybe existing brokers, somebody who just signed up last week or a month ago? Maybe something to take into consideration.
We would probably make something, we probably, just like we did with the splits, we probably would not do anything retroactive to go backwards. And if there was somebody that signed up right around, if we launch it, let's just say October 1st or something, or September 1st, excuse me, I'm getting ahead of myself now. But if we were to launch it September 1st, if there was going to be an issue or a fuss or something, that would probably be a TL discretion that we could make adjustments. The point of this is to help grow our recruiting. So we haven't put this out there to anyone yet. Literally, the leadership knows about this, Kent knows about it, and Mooresville leadership knows about it. So we're putting it out to the ALC first before we put it out to the masses. So I don't think we'll run into too much with that. But again, if there is any fussing about it, I'll handle that. Okay. What else? All right. Moving on. We've got a couple new classes that we've been running, and I want to talk to you guys about.
PJ?
Yep.
Did you want to talk about the second part of recruiting?
Not yet.
Okay.
We'll talk about that later.
Okay. Sorry.
Nope, you're good. So we've been running some new classes, and this week we're going to have a profit share class. I'm gonna be teaching it. I'm gonna explain the ins and outs all around profit share. So Deb, for your growth committee, I would expect everybody who's on growth committee should probably be at that class. If you're gonna sit there and properly go through and explain profit share, you need to know that, you know, what is third level? How much percent do you guys get at third level? Does anybody know? It's 5%. Okay. It's 50%, 10%, 5, 7.5, 10, 12.5. Those are the 7 levels. That is the breakdown of the 48% of associate profit share that goes to the agents. People say, well, I hear the 50% is the first one, so that's what I'm going to do. Yet if you actually look at it, follow Aaron Kaufman with the KW effect, actually the most amount of money that people typically make is between levels 2 and 3, which is a 10% and 5%. And it's because it spider webs out. And so it's important that we know how to explain that and have that conversation with people. Now, this is a little bit different in years past. In years past, everyone was always told, listen, if you guys want to explain profit share, tell them that we have a profit sharing program. And that's why you need to set them up for a meeting with the team leader, and the team leader will go through and explain it. Okay, that was the old way of doing things. Aaron Kaufman has met with Josh Team and with Gary Keller about changing how we do that and better educating everyone so everyone can explain profit share. I'm not going to bash on any other companies, but right now there has been one EXP agent that has been able to explain how revenue share and how their stocks work to me. And believe you me, I did my own homework on it. So we need to make sure that we know how to explain our own systems, or else I don't want to meet with that PJ guy, right? So putting the onus on ALC members, and especially Deb, the growth committee, they need to be present for this class, because I think it's really going to help educate them, take them to another level. And this is the one thing that we're not doing a really good job of right now, is getting our message out there louder. And what we really need to do is hit that social media up, okay? And, you know, I just put a post up this morning on my Facebook. I'm usually pretty good with my Facebook. The other social media, okay, I'm showing my age, I'm not that good with. I have a marketing director that works with my team, and she's actually going to start doing things for all my personal posts to get it out there. Guys, we need to all be doing the same exact thing, because there's a lot of people spitting a message out there right now about their firms and how great their firms are, and we're not doing a good enough job about talking about how great our firm is. And guys, we are at the best firm, obviously. You guys still wouldn't be here if you guys didn't believe that. And with everything that's coming, new virtual mega camp, all the things that we've got moving forward, we need to make sure that we're getting those messages out there. Cool? Questions around that? Okay. Next week, I'll also be doing a listing class. I see a couple of people like Cara and Sandy on here that were in my buyer class that I did the other day. And I know you guys are not ALC members, but if you guys want to speak up and say anything about that class, it's not just this is how you do it class. There's a lot of tips and tricks in there. So if anybody wants to speak up to that, please speak now.
So this is Sandy. I thought that class was so incredibly important and helpful, because nowhere in pre-licensing, and I've already taken all the post-licensing, do you ever really learn how to do this job. You know, it's kind of up to pieces you get from people, and to see the whole entire structure from beginning to end, every piece of it, and how you can make it your own was so important. Albeit that was a buying seminar, I had a listing appointment the next day. I used everything I learned from that buying thing, went to my listing appointment, and got the listing.
Awesome.
So I think it's just critical to learn those pieces and see them.
I agree with Sandy, and just like you were saying, the profit sharing meeting should be mandatory. I kind of feel like the buyers and listing presentation should be mandatory as well coming in. You need those pieces of information before you go out there and have your client be your test run.
Yeah, absolutely. And so I'm glad that you guys got some value in that. And as an ALC guys, I want to make sure we get that message out, and not just to our newer agents. Terry, I saw you on here. I know Terry sat in on that class, and I don't know if he can unmute and chime in, but from an experienced agent's point of view, I'm sure there was a couple of tips and tricks that he picked up as well. And he's muted, so maybe he's off for a second. So, but I think that there's a lot of value, and that's kind of the value add we need to have moving forward. Okay, any questions? And those classes don't have to be taught by me. I would like to leverage those off on the ALC as we're moving forward. Somebody else also asked to have a class on how to make your offer look more attractive. So that's something else I'll be working on. And if anybody wants to help with that, or it's what's referred to at Keller Williams as bulletproofing your transactions, by all means, we'll get something like that on the books for next month. So,
Jay,
yes, Jay, yeah.
what? I guess I mean, aren't those topics like included in the courses that are being taught like through CES or whatever? I mean, not CES, but whatever we're calling that, where, you know, people around are teaching that. Are those not being discussed during those classes?
No. So the Sparks and Elementals, is that what you're talking about?
Yeah, I guess so.
Yep. So Amber Valentine has been spearheading those for us. Understand, guys, this is a nationwide program. They're not going to be speaking to due diligence periods like there are in North Carolina, but not in 8 states have due diligence. That's it. Those of you that do anything in South Carolina, there's a due diligence addendum in South Carolina. Do you know the due diligence addendum in South Carolina is completely different than the due diligence in North Carolina? So SJ, to answer your question, a lot of that is broad strokes on lead generation, getting things moved forward. And so when we want to talk about the specifics, and give some unfair advantages to our team here so that they can be better prepared to go out. It's really going through the forms, understanding the forms, and then an aggressive way. And I put a bunch of extras in that class as well as to, hey, you don't have to do this, but here's a utility checklist. And go ahead and put down what the average monthly bill is for this house, because that's going to look really attractive when a buyer picks that up at the property, that they know they need to call Duke Energy, this, boom. And if they're working with the Keller Williams agent from our office, oh, we have a company called Move Guru that takes care of all of that for you. So there's too many specifics. That makes sense?
Yeah, I just, when you said that, like, it seemed to me like that topic would be covered, but no, when you're talking more specifically like that, that is totally different. Okay, cool.
And even just to our area, not just North Carolina. I mean, who's ever sold a house on the lake, right? Did you get a dock permit? Did you need to get a dock permit, right? Okay, I promise you, and I know for a fact, Lake Wylie, the Mountain Island Lake, completely different than Lake Norman. And somebody who lives down where I live in South Carolina, where there is no lakes around, they don't know anything about dock permits. So it goes to the specifics of it. Cool?
Yep, perfect.
Questions on that? Anything so far? Okay. All right, that's that. That is that. Let's talk about MegaCamp. Cece, I'm gonna pick on you for a second.
Yay.
All right, so, well, oh wait, before we get to Cece, who can tell me when MegaCamp is? Let's start there.
September 15th through 17th.
Right now.
Sorry, Cara?
September 15th through 17th.
Bingo, gold star of the day right there. And I will let you guys know that Cara and James Neal have already sent potential guests to come to MegaCamp. I have met with James's recruit, and he is going to be coming in from another company and a $1.5 million producer, Rockstar. Cara, I don't know if you saw my email yesterday, but Shannon Pittman actually used to be in my downline at Keller Williams. So thank you for reconnecting me with her, and hopefully we'll be getting her over as well. So Cece, give us a breakdown. Somebody brings somebody in MegaCamp. What do they get?
Hey, PJ, real quick. I have possibly one or two other agents that I went to class with and went through Superior with. How would I get them? Should I just send them?
So Cece's about to go through all that right now.
Okay, perfect.
And Liana, we can have a side conversation after this.
Okay, thank you.
Yep. Okay, so this you really are putting me on the spot because I haven't looked at this. Let's see, you bring one friend, you get your ticket for free, they get their ticket for free. Yeah.
Free ticket.
All right, you bring two friends, you get your ticket, their two tickets, and is it a choice of agent dues and bold?
Correct. So
a choice of a month of agent dues free or bold, the next bold free.
Bold pivot.
Bring bold fit pivot, yes. You bring 3 friends, you get your ticket, their tickets, and you get both. Agent dues and bold pivot for free.
Or you can get 2 months of agent dues taken off of wherever you want to find the value. Make sense?
You bring 4 friends? I don't know what we're going to do for that. BJ, we're going to have to come up with something else. I want somebody to bring me 4 friends.
Oh, that's the super secret box surprise that only the person that brings 4 friends gets to see.
There you go. That's how that works.
Okay, so Cara, can I pick on you for a second?
Of course.
How do you get somebody into MegaCamp? What are the steps that you need to do as an agent since you just did that?
I posted on Facebook and Instagram. I reached out to Shannon specifically, told her that she would need to sit down and speak with you, and I gave her some selling points on our firm and Keller Williams, and then I emailed you and y'all set up a time, I hope.
Yeah, so I have not heard back from her yet, but I will be reaching back out to her today.
Okay.
So really, when you have a great cross sale with somebody, or as Cara is saying, you put it out there on social media. Guys, go to my Facebook page and cut and paste or just share what I shared today. It's a perfect example of it, okay? As a result, the only thing you need to do is send me an email connecting me with that person via email, the same way you guys would do with a recruit. And as a result, I set up a meeting with that person. You can be part of that meeting if you'd like to. Yet I think we can all understand the knowledge that we're going to get from Mega Camp. Who's been to a Mega Camp before? Or family reunion?
Me.
Okay. SJ, Kim, Terry, CC me. Okay. Guys, there's a wealth of knowledge that you can obtain. And this is the thing. It's like when you guys first get into real estate, you're first taking Ignite or now Sparks and Elementals. There's a lot of information being thrown at you. And so, guys, I promise you, the one silver lining to COVID, shall I say, is that you're going to be getting all of this information virtually put down so we can record things and go back, because a lot of times it's note taking and missing stuff here, there, and different. Yet I think everybody who's been would agree that it's helped their business one way, shape, or form or another by going to these events. I've gotten referral partners from it before. I've gotten ways to improve my business, tips and tricks around, oh, let me just simplify and streamline all this because somebody's already spent the last 18 months figuring out how to do it and then just ripping off and duplicating and putting it into my business. So, and again, this, yes, we're reaching out to people who are not Keller Williams agents with this to give them the invite. You cannot, Dawn, you can't invite Deb. Okay, that's not how it works. All right. So make sure we're giving the benefits of Keller Williams to other agents that are out there. Cool. Okay. Next, moving on. I have a proposal question from Huntersville, which I would like to pose to the ALC. And I know we only have 4 members on here right now. So I guess I'll be the deal breaker voter on it if we do get to a stalemate. Does everybody know who Michael Dennis is with Huntersville? Okay. If you guys haven't seen the most recent, hold on, I have it right here. Charlotte Real Producer magazine. Okay. With Jennifer Vick and Co. on the cover. She's actually a Keller Williams agent out of Ballantyne. Michael had an awesome write-up in here. Great little article. Go read it. This is, and we should have a whole stack of these coming out to the office in the next week if they haven't gotten here already. Huntersville wants to get more involved with our ALC meetings and would like to appoint a representative from Huntersville to sit as an ALC member on our board, not as a voting member, but more as someone to kind of bring back what's going on at Cornelius so that Huntersville can be on the same page. How do we feel about that as ALC members? Can I get yay, nays?
I think that would be really good, but I also think that reciprocably, we should probably do the same thing to have somebody from Cornelius then do the same thing in their ALC meetings.
Yep, I think that's good. Okay. Or could we just use Michael as kind of the pass-through because he's going to be on their ALC. So maybe that just, so we don't have 2 people doing it.
I think that's a good idea. I mean, he can probably bring us updates when he's in the meeting.
Yep. We can do like a Huntersville update. Kim? Kim, that's a nod. I'll take that. Okay. Deb? Yeah. Okay. All right. So, all right. So I'm going to move forward with Sherry Wooten and getting that up to snuff with Kent. All right. Any other questions around that?
Is there any reason, well, I guess because Boone's so far away that we wouldn't bring them in or give them the opportunity to maybe try? Because that happens to be the only other commercial agent is up there. So I just thought of that office too.
We can reach out to Boone as well on this matter. This was literally something that Sherry just proposed to me in the last 48 hours. So if we want to go ahead and do that, we can definitely do that as well. Okay. All right. Moving on. Next thing on my list. All right, so we talked about making sure you're getting your 2 recruits into me on a monthly basis. Can we go round table real quick and give me a breakdown of what we've been doing on the committees, and just give us an update of where everyone is? Dawn, will you start us off, please?
Sure, but can I talk about what's happening with the project?
The project.
The vendors?
Yeah, go ahead. Yeah.
Okay. So we're pulling together another blood drive. It's going to be, so on September 11th, and it's Be a Hero for a Hero. So we're inviting the community to bring in some of our local heroes so that we can sort of honor them and also honor people who are giving blood. So we're working on getting vendor sponsorship from our vendor program and giving them some exposure and having a food truck. So it should be a pretty cool event. Looking forward to that and looking forward to giving back to the community. Hope that everybody turns out, and I hope we can get the word out a little bit early so that we can share it with all of our teams and get everybody to come out, and you know, maybe we get a third bus this time. It would be pretty cool.
Yeah, we got a food truck, right?
Yep.
Did you say that? Did I miss that?
I maybe quickly, yeah, but we have a food truck, and so the idea is if you give blood or if you're a hero, so if you know a hero, you know, let us know and invite them, then they would get a free lunch.
Yeah, and the food truck has also told us that they are going to be donating a portion of the money that they make back to the charity. And I do not believe we have officially decided on it. Did we decide? Was it Tunnels and Bridges? I know we were talking to some first responder charities. I will get confirmation on that.
Yeah, we didn't get a chance to confirm this morning, so probably tomorrow.
Okay. So yeah, so we've got it all set up. And yeah, be a hero for a hero. Dawn, just quickly give us what else is going on with the vendor program and how many we've added.
I mean, it's really great. Actually, Rachel had to buy more plaques for the wall. We have some really great vendors in the program. It's doing really well. I'd say we'd still love to see some of like the basics. I'm still missing a cleaner, an electrician, a plumber, some of those like basic services that I'd love to have in the fold. So if you work with any of those types of vendors, please refer them to me. I'd also say that Chris Conrad has been sitting on my committee, and she's been a big help. She is out there networking. She's a great person to know if you don't know her. So she's been a really great help to the committee, and I think it's been pretty successful this year so far. So I'm excited about what we're doing.
And Chris has only lived here, what, 6-8 months?
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. Yes.
I sold her house.
Excellent. Well, thank you, Dawn. Appreciate the update. With that, let's go right to Kim and let's talk about some of the culture we got going on.
Well, Deb and I had a meeting earlier a few days ago, and I guess we're just trying to figure out, because of COVID, how we can get people together, you know, from the office, because the limit is, you know, 10 inside, 25 outside. An idea we came up with is we have several agents that are members of the yacht club. So we were going to do something on their outside patio, and or there's a few of us with boats to spend the afternoon, or whoever wanted to go, kind of combine something like that as well.
And we right now cannot do anything in an official capacity as Keller Williams yet.
Right.
I do, a lot of people miss socialization. As you guys know me,
Yes.
I'm a big hugger. Okay. So this COVID thing's killing me. Kim, can you also talk to what you did the other day with the Shadleys real quick?
Oh, so a couple other agents, especially them, have asked me to let them shadow me when I do phone duty. I've started trying to do that a little more. And then they asked me to have one-on-one classes because they really were not sure on how to even do an offer to purchase. You know, everybody goes through school, but when you actually do it, it's totally different. So I felt like I was able to give them some tricks of the trade or things to remember, you know, just like this whole, in Cornelius, just lost that word that's haunting me.
Well, I want to brag on you because she had both the Shadleys sitting down in the call time desk. They were going through an offer, I believe it was.
Yeah.
And were you even on call time? I don't think you were you?
No, they were, and asked me if I was available to come in.
And how long did you spend with them?
3 hours.
3 hours. Now, I'm not saying everybody has to go spend 3 hours with somebody.
No, but I had the time, so it was.
But guys, this is exactly what ALC members should be doing. So I want to give Kim some huge kudos for that, because this is exactly how we get our office better. Now, I get it. We're all busy. We've got a lot of things going on our schedules and our calendars. I definitely get that. Yet, if Terry Rogers is a brand new agent and he's in my office and he comes to me and wants to do a cross sale with me and has no idea what he's doing because somebody hasn't sat down and gone through some of these things with him, is that a deal that you guys want to get involved with? Or would you rather do a deal with somebody like the Shadleys, who sat down for 3 hours with one of our mentors and leaders in the office, because we know that they're going to know how to do a deal, right? So if we want to make our office the top office, we need to really have that sharing community. And so I just want to give Kim some kudos. Good job.
I remembered what it was. Impervious. A lot of agents that do business in Cornelius don't have a clue what impervious means, and it's not pretty. It's very confusing.
I think it's just going to make everybody's life easier all the way around, right? So, cool. Anything else, Kim?
I don't think so. Deb might have something to add, but.
Yeah, that's where I'm going next.
Okay.
How are we doing, Deb?
Good. My turn?
Your turn. You're up. Okay. Talk to us about growth.
Talk to us about growth. We had our first meeting. It was a first meeting, so it was a little hairy. But basically, when I worked with Tracy, we came up with the 1-3-5, and the one valuable thing I took out of our meeting was that the one that we have is pretty good. You know, we're going to have to adapt a couple of the things on it to adapt to COVID, but basically the premise of it is good. So the 3 things we're focusing on, of course, growth is our goal. But number 1 is recruiting new agents, which we're currently doing. Usually Shannon Avison and I present to the schools. Zach also has offered to present to the schools. We want to make sure that our scripts are good for them there. We have the recruiting piece that Rachel put together that we'll have to put a couple more bullet points on those 2 things that we just talked about at the beginning of the meeting. Also recruiting existing agents. I think that also leads to the CAP thing. I know I personally have some friends that have gone over to the other 3-letter agencies, PJ would say, and I'm having lunch with several of them to get them back. So that's, I think, the biggest goal with getting existing agents. And then the third is what works with Kim is retention. I think that it is important for us to make sure that people understand that they do get the help that Kim gives when they're here. There's a support system here. It's like a family without the crazies. I mean, there's some crazies, but you know. So that's what we want to get our idea across. So that's why she and I will be working together. I mean, I let her plan the social events, but we'll talk about how we can grow them to make people feel like they're part of something, part of our group.
Absolutely. Cool.
Growth meetings are after the first team meeting of the month. So
directly after the first team meeting of the month, which is the 2nd Tuesday, right? So right at noon. Awesome. Cool. Thank you. I guess SJ had to jump off. Amber, can you give us a quick update on the changes that are happening around education right now with Sparks and Elementals, please?
Absolutely. So Sparks and Elementals had been run by regional, by Kelly Finnegan, and Kelly Finnegan is leaving her position as regional tech trainer, or someone else is coming in. I'm not exactly sure the wording around that.
Let me just, sorry to interrupt you. Matt Ron is taking over as the tech coordinator for the Carolinas region. Formerly, Matt was with EXP. He was one of the top executive leadership team with EXP. and was a right-hand man to Glenn Sanford, who runs that company. So I'll just kind of leave that there so you guys can defer whatever information you want to take away from that. He is now running tech for our region. And Amber, go ahead, please.
Okay. And Kelly has decided that since there was such a great, there was such great feedback for how the regional Ignite 2.0 or Sparks and Elementals went with everybody. You know, it was a very streamlined process. All of the instructors were, you know, top notch, and it really takes a lot of pressure off of the market centers when everything can be virtual like that, and the agents can do this training from their homes or offices. And it's just an amazing, like, working workshop. She's decided to open a business around that and continue that same model with some upgrades from what we've learned from the first run of it, starting October 2nd, I believe it is. And I believe that we are going to participate in that, which is going to be wonderful. So we will have one day a month where we will be responsible for providing an instructor for that and running it for the day. And then our agents will have access to all of the Sparks and Elementals training on a consistently running basis every month, which I'm very excited about. And it will be done virtually into the future. So that's
and we already have 2 instructors that have stepped up. Zach Bonchek and Nadine Wynn. And so they're going to kind of rotate because we have that one class a month. If anybody else does want to get involved in that, that'll be a conversation to have with Amber and with the education committee.
Yeah. And then to piggyback off that, once that schedule is set and we're 100% sure about it and we're all running with that, we are also trying within this market center to put all of our training that we offer the agents around that, so that there is a consistent schedule of what the training will look like, so everybody knows when it's happening, what's happening, and all of our new agents are getting the same training when they come in consistently, so we know what they're getting. We know what they're getting, what they've had, what they haven't had, where the gaps are. And then for existing agents, they're getting those higher level classes again, same time, same place, in the same way every time. So we're consistent with what we're able to offer and can speak more confidently around that.
Awesome. Cool. Thank you for that update.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Any questions for any of the committee members? I've got one more thing I want to talk about, and then we'll wrap it up for today. As we're approaching the end of the year, there's a few things I want you guys to be mindful of, okay? And so as the ALC, to be leading and putting out there to the rest of our market center, we've got about 70 working days left in the year. And so just as a realization, school has started, everything's moving forward, we need to look at where we're at with hitting our goals, okay? The most important thing to me about ALC members is that ALC members are still running a profitable business and they're being successful. So if you guys have any opportunity around that, come to me directly, because that's more important than anything else, is that your business is still strong and moving forward. With that being said, I put some stuff out around the office. 11 reasons to list during the holiday. Those of you that were here with us last year, you guys saw me put this out as well as to a script objection handler as to why people still want to list their houses around the holiday season. We've talked about a shifting market. We've seen some crazy stuff happen in 2020, and we're going to see a continuation into 2021 with a market correction. Yes, you heard me correct. There is going to be a correction coming, most likely after the election next year. Prepare your businesses for that. As Gary Keller says, there's a gift and a shift. And this is what I'm going to tell you, because I'm going to press everybody hard on this, okay? Listings are what's going to win the day. We go through a natural mini shift every single year when we move into the fall and winter months. And what pulls agents through is having a good listing inventory. Hence the 11 reasons why you should list during the holidays. So if anybody doesn't have that, needs that from me, let me know. There's copies right down at the front desk. I'll email copies out, however you guys need it. Yet that's one of the things that you guys need to start working into your script practice right now so that you guys can be prepared when those conversations come up in the next 30 to 60 days. Make sense? Fair enough? Okay. Last thing. ALC, oh, I'm sorry, 2 more things. I lied. Kidding. Business planning clinic. Who is that running in? Is that Trace?
It's Tracy.
Awesome. So business planning clinic. Guys, we're going to be running a business planning clinic. We will let you know. Who's ever taken business planning clinic before? Anybody? Okay. What's the point? Why do we do business planning clinic?
How to plan your business.
Bingo. Oh, hey. It's not a trick. Okay. So business planning clinic, going ahead and setting up your GPS, your 411, and planning out what 2021 is going to look like for your business. Okay. Whether you're on a team, independent, running a team, whatever that looks like, how are you going to properly plan out for 2021? All right. Last thing, ALC for next year. Okay. Starting in September, I will be holding interviews for ALC members for next year. Now, I want to go over, and I'm going to make this very clear in the interview process about what ALC is and what ALC is not, okay? Kim gave us a great example earlier of what ALC members do and should do on a regular basis, okay? One of the faux pas has been, oh, ALC members get leads. ALC members do not get leads, okay? And I'm not saying that to scare anyone away. If an ALC member is consistently sending in recruits on 2 a month like they typically should be, yeah, that ALC member will get leads. I'm not bashing anybody on the ALC when I say this, but nobody has done that consistently this year, okay? And that's okay. We have room for improvement for next year. And I know some of you guys joined halfway through the year too. Actually, the 3 that are on here did. So I'm not even talking to you in that instance. The ALC members typically tend to be the agents that have been capping agents that have been in the business for an extended period of time. I'm going to make a judgment call on that. So I don't want anyone to say, oh, I'm new and I cannot come and apply to be an ALC member for next year. I want the right people in the right seats. That is the most important thing to me overall, okay? And I want to make sure that the ALC runs a lot smoother next year. Not that this year didn't run well. I want it to run a lot smoother and tighter. So for existing ALC members, or for those listening in on this meeting that are not an ALC member, if that is something that you desire to do, we are going to be setting up interview process starting next month. Now, September 10th, the leadership, we have an ALC meeting that we all have to be a part of. If you are wanting to become an ALC member, number 1, first step, interview process. Second step, attend ALC meeting, which will be through the region. It'll be done virtually this year. It will either be October 22nd or October 23rd, okay? So mark that on your calendar, and it's an all-day thing, all right, guys? So it'll be either one of those 2 days right now. And then lastly, we do our own ALC retreat with just us here. Not in our office, but from our office, we do our own ALC retreat. Now, at any point in time, interview process, going through that does not mean you're on ALC. Going to ALC clinic does not mean that you're on ALC. Getting invited to ALC retreat, that means you're on ALC. And so we will have more information out about this. Yet I wanted to just share that here today. And if you know anybody that you think would be a good candidate to be on the ALC, please connect them with me or let me know who you'd like me to reach out to. Have them reach out to me, okay? Matt Sarver has already told me that he is not going to be on ALC next year, which is fine. He's working on his business, and I've got to respect that. However, he did talk to me about Aaron Dorsky possibly coming on to ALC next year. So Aaron's the first guy I'm setting up for an interview, okay? So any questions around next year's ALC? Cool. All right, guys. It's 11:54. I want to respect your time and your business. If you guys need anything from me, or I'm sorry, final thoughts, anybody? Comments, questions, concerns? Cuss words? No. Just making sure you guys are paying attention. Okay.
Now I just want to say a cuss word to say a cuss
word. Nope. I'll come in your office and you can yell at me, okay? All right, guys. Let's make it a great day. Thank you, guys. I love you for all you do. I hope you got some good information and some great value out of today. Talk to you soon.